Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? It's your boy Jaydub, and we back at it again for another great video. Hopefully, y'all can see me. Hopefully, y'all can hear me loud and clear. I got my brother, my broadband bully brother, Noah J. Osborne in the house, aka Mansa Musa, aka Noah. Y'all know what it is. I want to go ahead and shout out Rate the Emperor, Dr. Detroit, Heat the Heathen Stevens was good. We got Spider Silver in the house. Yeah, go ahead and tweet out everything. I'm gonna go ahead and tweet it out, then we'll get started. Noah, how you been doing today, my brother?
Been good, bro. Been good, man. Been a long day of work. I'm glad to be off. I'm glad to be doing this interview with your brother. Appreciate you having me on.
Always, brother. Always, man. It's always good seeing what you got to say on Twitter, seeing what you got to say, just, even when we podcast and just seeing what kind of insight you have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. I appreciate that.
All right. Swordfish in the house. Kukoski, what's good? Guys, I just got through tweeting that out. We're good and live. Well, I got a couple of questions here, man. I'm gonna ask you. I'm not gonna take up a lot of your time. Uh, but currently, it looks like that you're a Xbox guy. Can we kind of throw you in the Xbox camp of things?
Yeah, man, you can do that. You can do that. That's fair enough.
Okay, fair enough. Is that where you spend the majority of your time gaming?
Yeah, yeah. Most of my time is spent gaming on Xbox.
Okay, but what platforms do you own?
I own the Xbox Series X, PC, PlayStation 5. Pretty much it.
Okay, okay, but you spend the majority of your hours on Xbox.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Uh because you have a PC, why do you choose to spend your time on the Xbox console itself?
Most of my friends on Xbox. I like the ecosystem better on Xbox. I know you hear that a lot, but with Xbox, I tend to get like reward points, and I can put that back into into more games. They give me rebates for purchasing games.
Okay.
Me and my brother game share, so a lot of times I'm only spending like half of the games, and I'm a big achievement hunter. So
Okay. Okay, we got a trophy hunter in the house, achievement hunter. Shout
yeah.
out to Rate the Emperor with the $5. Appreciate that, my brother.
What up, Ray?
He said, shout out to J Dub and Nathaniel. That's his middle name. He a cool dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We got Tony Twist, as he should. Big facts, man. Money Matt, I see. He said, what up, J Dub and Noah? David
Man,
DRC. He said, I bet Noah got them damn sunglasses on. Big facts.
you know it.
Big facts, man. Again, man, it's been an honor and a privilege just, having you to say, what I'm saying, yeah, I'll do the interview. We did my brother King's Blood gaming a couple of weeks ago. Now we got you, and I'm gonna keep on interviewing some people from the community and get their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff, kind of without the fanboy hat on, but let the people know who the true person is. Who is Noah J. Osborne? Who is Mansa Musa? Who is Noah? So I want to get a little bit of your background. We know that you've had some inflammatory tweets lately, and I find it funny. You know what I'm saying? So to me, everything is all in humor. It depends on how you want to take it. But we saw some tweets from you. You kind of going at the PlayStation guys. Kind of got the attention of King Thrash and some other guys in this stuff. But let me ask you this: Twitter Spaces. What is your thought on Twitter Spaces? Do you think it's a good thing? You think it's a bad thing? Just kind of give me your thoughts on it.
First of all, I want to say I really like this, Jada. I like this format. I just wanted to let you know that. But
Okay.
Twitter Space, I like the idea of Twitter Space. It allows uh, more people that have a voice,
Mm-hmm.
um, and share their opinion. Everybody doesn't have thousands and millions of subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for any platform that gives anyone a voice to share their opinion, their thoughts.
Okay.
So I'm all for Twitter Space.
Well, that's good. Like you said, a lot of people don't have YouTube channels. They're not content creators. And so Twitter Spaces a lot of times give voice to people that don't have a voice. It allows them to get
Right.
in and get out without, going behind the scenes, creating all these accounts, setting up the fancy equipment, yada yada yada. I mean, you know how it is as a content creator
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
And just for the record, guys, you guys can go and follow Noah. I will give you his information and stuff like that. Thank you, Afro Thunder, for subscribing. I really appreciate that. So his link and everything will be in the replay of this video here. But so you think Twitter Spaces is a very good thing? You think it gives a voice to people who are not content creators? So you think it's a good thing? Do you think that there is a negative connotation of it? Do you think it's being perceived as being negative, or you think it's all good?
I think there's a negative connotation around social media. Period. Um, a lot of people are opinionated. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of people are opinionated about things they have yet to experience.
Okay.
That's that's where it gets kind of scary, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, so you think it's the people on the outside that would find it negative?
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets to open up, share their thoughts. I'm all for that, but sometimes you're sometimes people are giving their opinion out as facts, and
Okay.
we have to do our job, to research. Just because somebody tells us something, or gives their opinion on something, doesn't mean that's the end all be all. We got to do our job, to research and
Okay.
make sure what they're telling us is valid.
Okay. Shout out to my brother Brian Carter with the $2. He says Jay Noah is a known capper. Get him out of here. LOL.
Yeah, yes, I am. Yes, I
Hey,
am.
y'all wild, man. Shout out to David DRC for becoming a new subscriber of the channel. I definitely appreciate that, my brother. Always chopping it up. Uvu G Rich, I see you, fam. Immortal Black. He said, "How much you paying me to follow?" Oh, brother, I got you, man. Listen, I got a couple of troll tweets for you, just for you, brother. Um, so you brought up a pretty good point when it comes to the information that's thrown out there. We all know, in real life, opinions are not facts. Their opinions are thrown out there, and people kind of debate them, and it's like it's your personal opinion, but it's not necessarily a fact. That's kind of big in the community, in the social media gaming community in general, and a lot of us have fun with it. But again, it's up to each in his own to kind of figure out how shall I say, figure out what's good information and what's bad information. Shout out to the Ruham, my brother. He said, "What's good, Jay and panel? What's good, my brother? Thank you. I appreciate
Ruham.
that. Appreciate that." But do you think with because of social media and because of gaming and the way it is, and it has all these content creators and all these journalists now are kind of on the bandwagon, people can just throw information out there at their leisure and they don't have to worry about if they're right or wrong. Do you think that matters one bit?
Yes, it does matter, bro. I I'll be honest with you. We're getting to the point where social media has a bigger influence than the mainstream media. If you ask me, that if you notice, a lot of the mainstream media guys, they're sharing their articles on social media, trying to get those clicks and likes, because this is where information is spreading the fastest.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Social media, information comes really quick. Shout out to Big Cloud Gaming. Shout out to Blackbeard. I appreciate you, brothers. What's good? What's good? Glad you're tuning in. Um, I mean, think about it. Somebody can just make a tweet, and before you know it, five other publications will tweet it out, and before you know it, all the likes and retweets, and the information is spread pretty much all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, again, is that a negative thing or is that the good thing? I mean, what do you think about it? What are your opinions on it?
It's got its pros and cons. Like, what I'm saying, information is spreading faster. Like the Facebook and Instagram outage today, right? I mean,
Yeah,
every pretty much we knew there was an outage probably before a lot of mainstream companies knew, the mainstream media knew. I mean, it's
yeah,
most people get a notification on their phone, boom, the information is there, versus having to pop in a website, look through the articles, see what the latest news is. It's social media is just it's that instant, that instantaneous.
that's true.
So
That's
so it's
absolutely true.
so to answer your question, it's a good or bad thing. I mean, if information isn't bad, it's just You know what I'm saying? Anybody could put anything out there, and it's hard to tell what's real and what's not sometimes. You
Yeah.
know, we get rumors every day in the gaming community. You know it.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know
I
it.
mean, it seems like, and even I've been, been guilty of that. Just throwing some stuff out there just to see what kind of reactions are going to take, and before you know it, it catches fire, and before you know it, all these professional publications, all these professional journalists, or at least you think they're professional, they will take it and run with it, and
Yeah.
those big publications, they give credence to the information, even though you and I were just joking, right? Just throwing it out
Yeah.
there to see how it was going to do. That just shows you how lazy journalism is now. And I call it lazy because back in the day, I think before social media kind of really hit, people had to actually go out. They had to actually get interviews. The information had to mostly be accurate. It had to go through a bunch of different chains. There was no such thing as just rumor all the time. Every single thing now is like take it with a grain of
Boom.
salt.
Yeah.
Now, when you and I throw something out there, it's always take it as a grain of salt because we don't take ourselves seriously. But when
Right.
you have professional big publications where it's your job to go out and vet the information, the source can't be Jaydub. It can't be Noah. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Piggy, piggyback on that, bro. Like I was just gonna say that. Like a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
We used to source the mainstream media on the news.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you go
They
to
source us.
IGN and
Yeah.
GameStop, they're sourcing us.
They source
It's
us.
it's
I,
it's
I
crazy.
think I think it's because those publications, it's easier, right? It's easier for them to not really do the hard work and actually go out and build the relationships with Sony and Microsoft and Ubisoft and Nintendo and all that kind of stuff. It's easier for them to just say, hey, let's get ahead of this. This guy says something, we don't know if he's credible or not, but we'll just throw it out there and hope it sticks.
Yeah.
And then
But
we'll
see,
hide behind that. What do you call it? We'll hide behind the rumor or take this with a grain of salt. Like, no, that's not how publications go. Like, come on.
right.
To me, I think that is equivalent to these journalists saying that they don't have to beat games before they review them. And I think that is the most asinine thing ever.
Great.
You're getting paid. That's your job. You're getting paid to play video games for a living and review these games. You're telling us that you're
Agreed.
too busy or you don't have time to beat them. Then why are you getting a paycheck? If that's the case, pay Noah, right? Or pay J Dub to beat these games, and we'll give you our own opinion on them. Because there's a
I'll
lot
take
of
it.
people that beat these games way before these reviewers and these so-called journalists. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It,
But
it, it's
you got to
really
think about
crazy.
it like this from their perspective too. It's kind of a double whammy. They're gonna put this news out there. They're gonna get the clicks and the ad revenue.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the aftermath, even if it is false. Then they get another article to put out there and say, "Hey, this is debunked." More clicks, more. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of a business. It's more about getting the clicks than actually spreading legit information. That's
Absolutely.
that's what's changed.
But you know what? I think that's one of the most dishonest and discerning things about the gaming community. Because for a person that's not into the how can I put it? That they're not into the social media thing. They're not into the being up to speed on the latest stuff. If some guy wanted to know, hey, if this game is good or if this game is bad, he doesn't really have a good outlet to go to these days. Because
Uh-uh.
anybody is just going to throw a review out there or throw some information out there, some clickbait title, just to get some quick headlines, some clicks and some views, right, for the money.
Yeah.
So
And
it's you know,
I'm gonna damage control a little bit. You
go
know,
ahead.
me being
I
the
just
Xbox dude. You know, we get hit with them yellow Metacritic scores a lot on our titles, right? So you know me,
oh
bro.
man.
I've always fought for there needs to be a standard that all reviewers
Hmm.
should grade on. You shouldn't knock one game for having difficult puzzles, but then praise the game for having difficult combat. You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
there's there's no standard. It's just uh let's trash this game and let's praise this game. Like, bro, like what's the standard? You know what I mean?
Well,
That's just me.
I will say this though. You're right. There should be a standard when it comes, but here's it. When we first started the show, first thing you said was opinions. A review is an opinion, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, opinion is not a fact. So, what game I may like or I may find atrocious, you may
right.
like or you may hate. So, it's all opinion. And that's why I think we need the 50, 60, 70 plus reviewers because you're not going to, it's very rare that you'll find a game being a 50 Metacritic rated, right? That half love it with 100s and the other half hate it. You know, it's
Yeah,
take The Last of Us 2, a very divisive game in the community. Either
I
you
love it.
hate it or you love it.
I love it.
But with that being said, right, with it being such a
Hmm.
divisive game, it won more awards than any game ever in history. It got an
Got you.
extremely high Metacritic rating, right? And that's with being controversial. But when you have games, and I'm not, I'm just, I'll try. Right now, it eludes me a low Metacritic PlayStation game, so I'll choose Bleeding Edge, right, or Battletoads,
I
or
can
or
never
many
feel
other.
Destruction All
Hey,
Stars.
hey, hey, hey! I'm the host of the show. You know what I'm saying? Hey, when in Rome, you roam. You know what I'm saying? But when you take games like those, they're very divisive as far as the fan base would love for those games to get a high Metacritic rating. But the majority of the reviewers saw that those games, for whatever reason or so, deserved a 60 something Metacritic score. Now, I think the problem where it conflicts with the Xbox fan base is the mere fact that it seems right on the outer surface. It just seems like a ton of Microsoft Xbox games tend to get that yellow 60 something Metacritic. And that's why we coined the term Xbox template. What do you think that Microsoft has to do to shake that stigma?
They have to a lot of the games they put out, it's the marketing behind the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to be upfront and honest, and they'll market a double A title and give it triple A attention, if that makes sense. The expectation for a lot of the games, especially in the past,
It's
were
high.
like way up here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But when the game came out, you're like, yeah, man, it shouldn't have been that high. There's a few exceptions, like Ori, Forza, Halo.
Yeah.
Uh, those are the Xbox bangers, right?
Yeah.
But let's take Bleeding Edge, for example. Recore.
Yeah.
Uh, what game did they say that was supposed to Crackdown? Crackdown 3, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Uh, was it Phil said he wanted Crackdown 3 to be on the level of Halo?
In
Those
gears. Yeah.
you have to be more aware of your audience to say things like that, bro. Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. In just 1 second. Andrew Wilkins, my good brother. Shout out to Andrew Wilkins with the $5. I appreciate that, brother. Noah don't. He said, Noah, don't be on here lying. You're reporting for all black Xbox fans, and y'all the worst stereotype in gaming. Oh man,
Oh
stall him out,
man.
Andrew. Stall him out.
Oh man.
Listen, Carlos Alvarado, I see you. Tony Twist, my brother, was good. Wraith, you clowning, man. I see you. But again, you made a good point. If Phil Spencer is coming out here saying, "Hey, I want Crackdown to sit next to Halo and Gears," so here's the thing: it's not the gamers' fault that that expectation is raised through the roof. When the CEO of a company or the head of a division says, "I want this game to sit up here," then gamers' expectation will automatically shift up because they're like, "Wow, Phil Spencer is behind this game. He's talking good shit. We're talking about the cloud power. We're talking about all of the tech that comes along with this. Man, this game is going to hit." But when the game falls flat, then can you really blame gamers for that? Or is that something that we have to blame Phil for?
You gotta blame the marketing, bro. And if Phil is the head of marketing, then
Mm-hmm.
he made the statement. So you gotta blame Phil. You gotta blame Phil. I wouldn't even blame the developers. They just made the game that they knew how to make.
Yeah.
Uh, what I'm saying, it's the marketing. It's the idea that, hey, this is a flagship title. If
Yeah.
they would have put it out there as, hey, this is a great game to play keep you busy. We're still working on X, Y, and Z. Then I think it would have hit a little different.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense, man. That makes perfect sense. Again, I think where I mostly troll in that space is the mere fact that I personally blame Phil Spencer for everything that's going on,
Of
whereas a
course you do,
lot of
like
the,
you always do.
as I should, you know, listen, in a corporation, right, in the business world, you always blame the top guy, even though that top guy had probably physically never got his hands involved in the project. His decision making that trickled on down. If someone below him makes a mistake, he feels it at the top. He's the face of
Yeah,
Xbox, so he should take the heat. And that's where I say that he has to be aware of what's going
yeah,
on. He has to be
yeah,
aware of what's going on. And if he's unaware, when he comes out there and say, hey, this game is, I just was playing this game the other day, this game is great, it's looking good. And then he comes out and shows Craig, then people have to question his integrity and say, Phil, you just said you was playing this game and this game is great. If you thought that that was great, and today you're going to delay it a year because we got Craig, and like, now I have to question your integrity. Do you think that that's a valid point?
yeah. I do. It's a valid point. Uh, yeah, the man said he played the game the day before and it was great. Either he lied or he just wasn't aware, just not aware of what the game being in a great state is. Uh, I mean, looking at Halo, and what it is. Have you played the beta? Have you played the flight?
I have. I have.
Oh,
I have.
yeah, Halo is in a it's in a great state now, and you know that delay was definitely needed. But the way it looked last year was definitely from a graphical disappointing from a graphical standpoint.
Standpoint. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. He's the head figure. He's the when you think of Xbox, you think of hey, Phil's in charge. This is the guy that's moving all the pieces. So I get it. I get it. You know, I get why a lot of the blame gets placed on him.
Yeah.
Um, but
And
yeah, I agree with you. I can't disagree with you. You got a point.
yeah. Again, I'm just trying to be, I'm trying to make valid a very valid argument. I'm not just blaming Phil just because I want to blame him. It's like, no, he's the face, right? He's the face of Xbox.
Oh yeah,
And when you're the face of Xbox, you have to be prepared, right? Look at Jim Ryan. You don't think Jim Ryan think he's going to get smoked when some games come to PC? Of course he knows it's going to get smoked.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just kind
He
of
seems.
that's just yeah, that's just kind of what, that's just kind of what happens.
Speaking
Um
of Jim Ryan,
Go ahead.
he's a liar too. But one thing I
Absolutely.
can say, he seems to be aware of. Yeah, this is going to cause some backlash. Because he
Yeah.
even states it. They even got him quoting Jim Ryan, stating that before he gives the information. Hey, we know this is going to make fans unhappy, but this is what we decided to do. Um,
Absolutely.
Phil feels a little iffy in that category.
Mm.
Did you really think this was a good idea, or you know,
Yeah.
why did you come out and say that? Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, I mean, you're right. Shout out to Tommy Bull with the $2. Appreciate that, my good sir. He said, "Hello, sir. Did you Photoshop Halo? Peace. I did not, sir. I did not Photoshop Halo.
talk
But
about me. You talk
I
about me.
know.
Oh,
I was gonna say, but we know who
not.
did. We know who did. Go ahead, Noah.
Let me
Yeah,
tell you something,
how about
Tommy.
that? That was one of the questions that was coming up. Shout out to Tommy Bull. I was going to keep that for a little bit down the list, but now that what I'm saying, now that it's out and open, go ahead, explain yourself, sir.
All right. So let me give my disclaimer. I had to talk with my lawyers before I got on the show, so I can't say too much. But in the Xbox app, there's the Dolby Vision option, right? Because we
Mm-hmm.
want the game to look how it does on the TV. So I added the Dolby Vision effect so you guys can see what I see when I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing it on my Dolby Vision screen. That's all, man. People think it's filtered. The game just looks that great. If you got a 4K 60 TV with Dolby Vision, that's what you're gonna see.
Oh man. So basically, you're gonna say that you created Adobe version you created an Adobe version that really wasn't meant for the purpose that people took it as.
Well, my
So,
lawyers told me not to use terms like "I created,"
mm-hmm,
because 343 created the game. I
mm,
just took a picture that I was playing, a screenshot of what I was playing,
mm-hmm.
and I wanted you guys to see it with Adobe Vision. So that's the way it was put out there on Twitter.
Oh,
That's all I
okay,
can say.
okay. So,
All I
Chad,
can
I
say.
mean, are you gonna take that? You know, so you're gonna take that for a reason. You know, I trust my good brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he would lie to me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, his integrity is always in the question. So
Shout
I
out
don't
to
know.
Tubby Bull, man.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, listen, take it with a grain of salt. Whether you trust this man or not, you know, he's the guy that right now is. Hey, he's here. But it was just funny that they kind of jumped on that because you know with the console war, these guys they will jump on something in a fraction of a second. But they saw the picture and then they saw the aftermath, and it was like, hold up, just this dude Photoshop and made the contrast a little bit darker and brought up the sharpness all the way to 1000 to make Halo look better than what it really is. I don't know.
I, that might be effect of the brain. Sometimes when you look at the same image and you
Mm-hmm.
stare at it too long, it does start to look a little different. So that might be, you
Oh
know,
man,
what's happening. I would need a doctor or a professional to really determine. But that's all I can say.
my
My
man
lawyers won't
said
allow me to say anymore.
my man said he needed to calibrate his eyes. Oh man, this is hilarious. This is hilarious. Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. We got past the Twitter Spaces. Tommy Bull kind of, he kind of called you out on the Photoshop stuff. Um,
Yeah.
Here's the next question: why did you buy a PlayStation?
Why did I buy a PlayStation?
Yeah. Why? What?
And
What reason?
nice set of questions, Jada. Nice set
Just,
of
just
questions.
the people want to know. The people want to know.
I bought a PlayStation because I'm a huge God of War fan.
Oh, okay.
That's God of War is the game, and I like The Last of Us too. I wasn't a big fan of The Last of Us when the first game came out. I thought it
Mm-hmm.
was okay, but
Okay.
the last one really hit home. I really like The Last of Us too. I got a newfound respect for Naughty Dog after playing it. But
Okay.
I've been a God of War fan since God of War 3. I went back and played the old games, the PSP title,
Mm-hmm.
when God of War 3 came out, and I played Ascensions.
Okay.
Um, I love God of War, man. Like, I gotta have a PlayStation because they got God of War.
They got the bangers. All right, that's a good shout out to Carlos Alvarado, my good brother, with the $10. I appreciate you, man. Just showing you support, my brother. Keep doing your thing. Love these shows over the cap. Big facts. Xbox is the best box, and PlayStation is dog shit. Just kidding. Listen, I had to get an Ibot guy. It got an Ibot guy on the show.
Oh
You know what
my
I'm saying?
God.
Ibot guy. But he said God of War and The Last of Us is the reason he bought a PlayStation. Shout out to Brown Sugar Candy in the house. We got Tony too. I want to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Paul G in the house. What's good, brother? Blanco, I see you. I see you. Who else? Tadafo. We got I want to make sure I don't, forget anybody, you know what I'm saying? You know I'm always Enzo, I see you. I'm always appreciative for everybody that comes and rocks out with me. But I did want to bring Noah on the show because I know a lot of you guys had questions about the Photoshop and his gaming habits and stuff. One thing I know about Noah, he has extremely high Xbox gamer score, so you can't say he's not gaming. I myself has gamed with the brothers numerous times. We've both been sick of gaming at the same time playing in VR. So I know his gaming, I know his gaming habits and stuff like that. So he's not out here frauding, right? He's not one of the frauds. There's a lot of frauds out there, but he is not one. And I do take his gaming opinion. I do take those, you know what I'm saying, very seriously. But he
Appreciate that.
said he bought a PlayStation for the God of War, for the Last of Us 2s, and I'm going to assume Spider-Man and Wolverine and
Yeah.
all the other the goaties that they have, right? The
Yeah.
Ghost
Yeah.
Tsushimas and stuff like that. Most you find out that most Xbox guys they will tell you the only reason that they own a PlayStation is for the exclusives, is for the goaties. But and this is a question. This is not a trick question. This is something that I myself with years of research in the gaming community on Twitter and on YouTube, finding out on the flip side of that, it's not reciprocated. When you ask a PlayStation guy why he doesn't own an Xbox or why he owns an Xbox, he can never say the games. He can never tell you there's a specific game of why he don't or why he owns one. And do you know why that is?
Uh, I'm gonna give my honest opinion, man. There's a negative viewpoint of some of the Xbox titles, but I think a lot of PlayStation dudes will be fairly surprised if they played some of the Xbox only or Xbox/PC only, if you want to be specific titles like Ori. Ori was big, man. That game is like one of my favorites.
Ori,
Uh,
Ori, yeah.
yeah,
And
Halo.
if you guys haven't played Ori, be sure to pick it up either on Xbox or the Switch or PC or whatever. It's on a bunch of other devices. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, play Ori. You gotta play it. That's a must play, man. Halo. I've been Halo since day one on the old. That's what made me get an Xbox. Was playing Halo at my homeboy's house,
Yeah.
and like Halo lore, the story, man. It's just the multiplayer. Like Halo is just a complete package. Um,
When we were tiny,
what else? There's Gears.
Oh man. Hey, we got Big
we
Damu.
What's up,
We
Z?
got
What's
Big
up, bro?
Damu in the house. We got a
what's the
special
headline
guest.
about now?
Oh man, his gamer score. Oh
Oh,
man.
he said, "Oh yeah, we got him in Halo." He had an uncle that really wasn't his uncle that used to watch him since he was 19. Part me.
Oh man.
Y'all knew she was gonna go left when Big Damu step in the house. Shout out,
Yeah.
shout out to Game O'Malley with the $2. I appreciate that, my good brother. Supporting the bro Jaydub for keeping it 1,000. Big facts, man. Listen, we got the Godfather of the bot father, the AKA Godfather, AKA Big Damu. The man got so many AKAs. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But he came in for the ambush journalism and stuff like that.
Yes,
We know what it
absolutely.
is.
You know, these cameras is rolling.
They came to jump me, right?
No,
No, we
I
ain't
just
we ain't
walked
coming
in.
to
I
judge you,
just
brother.
walked in here, bro. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
Z, you just get here. But the question I just asked Noah that he was kind of explaining to us, I asked him, I said, why did you buy a PlayStation? And he told me for the Goaties, for the Spider-Man, the Last of Us 2s, the God of Wars, and on and on and on, right? And I told him, me being in the gaming community and being in these gaming streets, that is not reciprocated on the other side. When you ask a PlayStation guy why he doesn't own an Xbox or why he owns an Xbox, it's never because of the games. They can't really name a game that they really care for. So he goes to explain what you said, Noah. Halo, Gears, and
Yeah.
Forza.
Halo, Ori, Gears, Death's Door. Death's Door is a really good game. It's a
Okay.
recent
Come on,
title.
this generation or just talking about period?
Just in
Period.
general, we know the 360 generation. We know there was a lot of PlayStation guys now that come from the three. I'm one of those guys, right? I'm one of those guys that was on the 360 in that generation, and I came over, but I came over again because of the games. 360 gave me those games, right? I never in my life had seen anything like Gears of War when it first came out, having a big, tall, big giant creature that was like 10 stories tall. That had never been done before in gaming, and that's what got me in there, right? Halo, the original Halo 1 is what got me into the original Xbox thing. But we're looking at the Xbox One and we're looking at the Xbox Series X. And again, when I asked Noah the question, he told you specifically right off. He started naming all of these goatees of the reason why he bought a PlayStation 5. But I can't find a PlayStation guy to say why he bought an Xbox or didn't buy an Xbox. Because so it's not reciprocated. What do you think that Microsoft is going to have to do to change that?
So it's simple. It's always. It's not about. So first we got bullshit, right? It's
Yeah,
not. He say about they're not getting a fair shot, this, that, and the- whatever the case may be, right? Because
yeah,
you know how I feel about Nintendo. They released. No one even talks about the Wii U anymore, right?
absolutely.
Probably was on par when it comes to popular as the goddamn virtual. What's that goddamn thing they had? The Virtual Boy. You
The
know what I
Virtual
mean? No one.
Boy, uh-huh.
They totally erased that from history. And what changed it from that is the Nintendo games. It's always about the games.
Yeah,
It always begins with that and ends with that, right?
yeah,
So we got the question here, right? For we leave it all out on the table, right? And for those, say I don't give it a fair shot. I'm a nigga. I'm giving. He say my more than half of a fair shot, right? And I always myself I ask this question: how do you? Because they did a better job. Let's be honest. Was you said it right? Was supporting the original Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Your first time to the rodeo, and then you did as far as the Xbox one. And I asked nigga, you know what I mean? How did we get here? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The OG Xbox, you know what I mean? Had all these, cult claims like Otagi and Panzer Dragon. You know what I mean? It had a lot. It had a little bit of everything. Then you had, of course, at the Nights of the Old Republic. Jade Empire, all types of stuff. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
KOTOR. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And what I'm saying, how you said, they had great second and third party support, right?
Yep.
And then when it came out with like you said with the Xbox One, even now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in between of because they didn't have much, right? So in between you getting your Halos, before Halo, I mean the first one was big, then the second one really cemented it, right?
Yeah.
Before the Forza, you had the what was my shit, Project Gotham. Then
Project Gotham.
between the Halo or the Project Gotham or say how you posted Crimson Sky, you had games like Ninja Gaiden, great
Gotta
second and
run.
third party deals, right?
Yeah.
So with so many resources at their hand, so we can't talk about it. Talk about Jerry Myerson and
Donny
like, well, that's
D.
good. Yeah. Like that. Listen, neither here nor there, man. It's always about the games, and you're in this position or whatever the case because of you, right?
Yeah.
You don't end with no games to start with no games. We gotta be honest, with this, right?
Yeah.
And when you talk about second and third party deals, yes, you do have games like Ori, cool, right? Or games like Cuphead. I always seem knocking. I ain't gonna beat the motherfucker, but I get credit, which was a hell of a goddamn game, right?
Yeah.
But you can't. It's hard to compare. Well, you can't. Or Ori or Cuphead to
The Last
like
of
Spider Man.
Us. Or
Yeah, yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah, 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 yeah. They're those great games, but it's not on the same. I will give you an example. So, say, I'm sorry. Sony had a big game. Not big. We're gonna. What's not a big game? What's called a goddamn game? Rezo Gun.
Yeah.
Received however acclaim this that and the other, but it's
Yeah.
$20 goddamn game. It's not on the same level as a Gears or a Metal. You know what I mean? Or it's not the
Absolutely.
same thing. So
Absolutely.
so even outside of them doing the deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are now. Yes, they bought what they acquired. How many goddamn?
23 total
Par-
studios right
23,
now.
23 studios.
They got 60. You got they no seriously. You got Coke and you got Pepsi. You got 1,001 goddamn soda flavors flavors in the world. Really, you got two goddamn companies. You got goddamn Coke and goddamn Pepsi, right? They make every
That's true.
even down to the goddamn water that you drink, right?
Yeah.
So it's Dasani, Fiji, Fuji, whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
right? The
Fallon,
Hakitachi.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it basically comes with two goddamn companies, right? So yes, they acquired the goddamn publisher, which was huge. You know what I mean? But in between, here's the thing, right? Until them getting things or releasing something, right?
Yeah.
Well, however long it takes when you get this stuff off the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to do those deals. So no, listen. Now, I'm gonna be clear. I'm gonna be fair. Is something coming? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, no, how long something's coming, right? Shit, nigga, I don't like Halo. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I had a goddamn blast playing that dogs the other day, right?
Yeah.
But it still doesn't Gears of Force and Halo, right? It's just like it seems to me, right? Oh no, no, nigga, because I said a lot without saying them. I'm a flip it. Check this out, right?
Yeah.
They just had a show, the Tokyo Game Show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Microsoft showed up.
Yeah, okay. All right. Now, it got teaser. Which is the Tokyo Game Show, right?
Yeah.
That is the smallest market. You have, they actually started to stop selling it, right?
Yeah.
Now, before you see me, all right, look, they were number one on Amazon for 2 hours straight. We're realistic here, right? And listen, here go another thing. I understand that Japan is not the force or, as they once was in terms of game, in terms of, market share. Before with Japan was the all and set all there, you know what I mean? But everything before games, you know what I mean? Games were released first in Japan, then wait 6 months to a year to come stateside. It's no longer like now games will come out here. You may wait 6 months before they come out over there. If it's not a worldwide release for a game, right? So things have changed, right? But given your situation over there, right? And you seen that Sony just had a show, what did they own show, right? The whatever it was called, the PlayStation now. Whatever, right? Great show, right? They ain't do many. It was a great show, got everyone talking. To me, if you're gonna go there, right? My thing is like, you should be working the hardest there, right?
Yeah.
You just had a lackluster goddamn, what do you call it, goddamn the Game Informer, the Gamescom show, right?
Gamescom, yeah.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? So boom, my thing is me being Microsoft, being the behemoth, and I got all this goddamn. You know what I mean? I got this goddamn nuclear bomb in my goddamn pocket, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it, right? You know, I don't give a fuck with some CGI. Go out that bitch and don't see, you know what? Those games doesn't fucking, how you say, for the Japanese market. No, fuck that. A
Yeah.
great game was a great goddamn game. Go out that motherfucker, you know what I mean?
Well,
And
let me tell you this.
wait for the fences.
Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
We've seen the game called that Wukong game.
Yes, yeah.
That looks amazing, right?
Yes,
That
sir.
shit
Yes,
looks
sir.
amazing.
Yes, sir.
If it was me and you're going after the Asian market, Asian territory, you're trying to
Mhm.
bring some
Mhm.
Japanese games, some Chinese games,
Mhm.
and for the Asian market or even to the Western market, wouldn't it would have took nothing for Phil to go over there with a bag of money and say, hey, look, we like how this game is shaping up. We want to throw you some money. We want to make this exclusive on our platform, the X Series X, X Series S. We'll throw some money behind you. We'll let you use whatever kind of software that we have, the Havoc engine and all kind of stuff. Just make that exclusive for our platform. We'll throw it in Game Pass after a certain time or even day and date. But that there would get the gamers talking because that game looked graphically amazing. It looks like something that everybody wants to play. Something like that I think would have been a big deal. I think it would have been
Oh
a
yeah,
big
I
deal.
mean,
Yeah.
granted, I don't know what they already have in place or in play, but I think that somebody might have slid in their attention to somebody. I don't know what the fuck they got. I think somebody might have snatched them up
Yeah.
already.
Epic
But
Games got them. Epic
yeah, whoever.
accepted.
All right, so said that was going, but you know what? Outside of that though, right? But still, a great game was a great game. You know what I mean? My thing is go out that motherfucker and then like if me honestly, how I'm thinking. Hold on, what the hell was that? Oh, I'm sorry.
That was probably the
Okay,
cat.
okay. All right, I'm sorry. So what are you trying to do? What's wrong? All right, let it go back out.
What do you think, Noah?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Look. My thing is what I'm trying to say is right. Not to get too long. They should put. You know what I mean. You know, don't put a lack of effort there. You know what I mean. And not how you say they're. I feel like they're ignorant to the fact or oblivious to with their positioning right now in gaming. I
Yeah.
get it, Game Pass, but you're going there. So me just being a competitor, right, my nigga, right? Give me, I fuck it. You ready for this? Don't. This can't. That's like me, right? Say if goddamn weapon wheel went out that bitch put on a goddamn hell of a goddamn show. Went out that bitch and dropped the goddamn mic, right? And I gotta
Yeah.
come on the stage after them. I'm gonna come out to the goddamn stage and perform goddamn naked. You know what I mean? I got, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you know, just me just being, you know what I mean? Such and chunk. I'm gonna go out there and fucking, you know what I mean? What is it? Put ass naked for the record itself.
Big
Yeah,
facts.
I'm gonna go out there and leave it all on the goddamn. I'm not gonna be upstaged by these niggas here. Who the fuck is these niggas? I'm oldest. And they just don't have that competitiveness. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like listen, that's what I'm talking about when you had the bombers there, right? I understand,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or the Jay Allen, you know what I mean? Or even man, what's the name? That's what
Peter Moore.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
that they don't have that is what's missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have all the money in the world. It's the competitive edge. I understand, you know, the whole no. When my man starts saying shit like that, bro, he despises the goddamn console war.
Yeah.
Pardon me? That's some
I
cuck shit
know.
right there. Like, nigga,
Yeah.
there will always be a console war. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Listen, when Peter Moore came out on that stage with that goddamn GTA 4 tattoo on his arm showing you how Microsoft is doing and how they doing big things to win it.
Yeah.
That's what gamers love. That's what we loved, right? That's competition.
Yes.
But then when Phil comes out, again, the only reason I'm blaming Phil is because he's the head guy, right? He's the face. When he comes out and he's kumbaya or he's tweeting out, shout out to Sony, you know, Mr. Jim Ryan and Herman Holtz for another Goaty with The Last of Us 2 or Spider-Man or sales or anything else that he comes out and brags about and kind of congratulate them. You don't get that on the flip side. You don't get them saying, hey, Phil, congrats on showing, you know, Halo.
But you understand that though? Let's think about that.
Yes.
Out of the spies, you know, bitch. Wait, they done kicked it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hit tweet this much. Oh, I forgot we social media down. Bitch, I'm about to turn up. Look. You don't. Could you imagine me hitting this goddamn? What's that goddamn dog shit so hard they do? Something on PGS, whatever from TBC.
Yeah.
Come out that motherfucker and have a great show. And I'm gonna hit the goddamn stage that motherfucker with a bunch of slow tunes, dude.
Yeah.
No, bitch. I'm in that motherfucker No, this is what we work just to make it today. That's why I'm hammer time. Bitch, come on, they been dancing. Put on a goddamn show.
Yeah.
You don't come out that motherfucker and say temper your expectation. I've never heard of shit like that in my goddamn life. Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
Like this is what I'm talking about. You know, listen, I know I got some diehard Xbox niggas, like my man Carlos Alvarado. Shout out to you, bro. But we had fun this weekend, right? This is the shit I'm talking about. You know what I mean? The soul. What is the competitive drive? Well, Phil, no, he's not. You don't sit shit out there. We don't need to stay up late. We're gonna have a dog shit show. But what the fuck is that?
But Z, this is the argument with that from a lot of the Xbox fanboys or the fan base, right? Is that, well, Phil spent $7.5 billion. What else do you want?
I need my goddamn mic. I need my own goddamn. Listen here, right? Who the fuck grew up? Somebody grew up in that motherfucker was sitting on the edge of the bed while they goddamn Maple Leaf uncles fucking their goddamn mama. Bro, I don't know what the fuck is going on there. Bro, listen here, man. This shit is fucking crazy. Yeah. You don't do that. Like, you're already in the last goddamn place. You know what I mean? Listen, temper your expectation. And you got motherfuckers like arguing. When they said don't expect much, well, that's on you guys. I've never heard this shit in my life.
Yeah. Just
listen to that, bro.
Yeah.
Then you got this quote on hive like mentality on whether it's Twitter or whatever. These motherfuckers are, those guys with RDX, shout out to Tim, that's my brother. Fuck the rest of them niggas. But out there and they say, well, they said not to expect much and toxic. No.
Yeah.
Do you not know? It's you know what I mean? That's crazy, bro.
Well, let me say this.
What do you have to say, Noah?
Go ahead, Noah.
Their shows have been hit or miss, right? We can agree on that.
One. Name me one hit.
The E3 Sean scored pretty good. It had like a B+, A- on Twitter.
Bitch, you was reading Braille.
Oh man, but look, they have been turning the ship around with the game, the third party deal. And they're bringing out the big hits this year. We got Forza and Halo dropping.
Z,
you gotta give him credit on that front.
You gotta give him.
He said I gotta give him credit for Forza and Halo.
Yeah.
Hey, no. Look, this picture you says a lot. You dangling head, motherfucker.
Hey man, look, see the ambush journalism. Look, nine up there.
Hey, you know, you ugly bitch. Man, that's your head. Your nigga head long as hell. Saying, dude, he said you gotta give him. We got Forza and Halo dropping. Nigga, what the fuck is going on here? What is going on here right now?
Oh man.
You have one of the top selling arcade racers in Forza and one of the best of all time shooters in Halo.
I want to know what
dropping in one quarter of the year. That's huge.
We got anybody motherfucking play Connect 4 no more, nigga. You bugging out right now. This shit here. This ain't it, bro. This ain't fucking it, man. I'm trying to say this ain't it, no. The fact you got niggas out there look like Kareem and them. Well, it said don't not to expect, mo. Nigga, who the fuck does that? Like, no, it doesn't happen. Like, that's not right, man. Come on, man.
I'll tell you this. As a PlayStation-centric gamer, you've never heard me say temper my expectation. Every game Sony drops, what do I say? It's going to get a 90 Metacritic. It's going to get a 95 Metacritic. You know why? Because my expectations are through the roof when it comes to the PlayStation platform. And a lot of times I'm right. I'm right more than I'm wrong when it comes to that, right? Returnal, going to knock it out the box. Whether you like it or not, Death Stranding, high Metacritic. The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, yada yada, on and on. We can keep going, right? We can keep going on and on. Even this shit that you didn't think was going to hit high, right? Like Dreams hit high. It's just, but with the Xbox community, it just seems like we'll take something like the Ascent, right? That gets a low Metacritic score, 64 or something like that. And the guys will overplay it and say, oh, it's not about Metacritic scores anymore. And it's a great game. And I don't care about what you say. It's all about how I feel about the game. And the game is great. Same thing with Bleeding Edge and Battletoads and all the other guys that kind of, shout out to you, Post Up, my brother, that overhype the games that rate low. And they get low scores and low reviews and nobody plays them. But, it's two different fan bases, man. And I get it. One has games to play that are critically acclaimed, and other ones don't at the moment. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Halo, Gears, and Forza, but all last generation, that became a meme. You had my boy Kid Smooth, aka Kid Snooze, out there creating songs, Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? That was a funny thing to even mention a Halo, Gears, and Forza game. And here we are, a whole nother generation later, and gamers are touting Halo, Gears, and Forza. Like, where does that leave Xbox itself?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Xbox fan base loves to see Xbox games score high too, like Cuphead, Forza, Halo, Death's Door, Ori. These are some of the high scoring
Yeah,
games,
why you sound so
but,
timid?
but, but we don't. I'm not timid. Look, hey, look. You see how they trying to tell me?
Oh man! Shout out to Game O'Malley with the $2. Z,
Yo,
he says Z. Why is post up in spaces? Why they hate on you? Why they hate on you and Jay? I don't know,
oh
man. Why they
man,
hate on? I
oh
don't
no,
know why they hate on. They don't like
Talk
us,
about
man. It's not the content of our character, man.
Mhm,
I don't think that's what it is.
mhm.
But Noah, someone came up with the stats. They said that Forza Horizon 4 only sold 2 million copies of that game. And Ori and Cuphead are multiplats. So again, do you think
Uh,
Forza 5 and do you think Halo do you think those
I'm at,
games are
I'm
gonna
about to
wanna,
dispute those numbers though, bro, because
let's
I
say
need a source on that. I need a source on that 2 million. It's already been announced that Forza Horizon 4 has 24 million players, unique players that play the game.
unique players? Okay, how do we quantify unique players?
Different gamer tags.
Okay, how many gamer tags do you have, Noah?
I have one.
Okay, I got 8.
Damn.
Damn, bro. What kind of social security fraud are you doing, bro? 8 gamer
Wow.
tags. What's
No,
going
no.
on?
So when I became a content creator, you know what I'm saying? I ended up creating me a new account because my old account had it was basically my real name, and the ones before that was when my mama didn't pay the cable bill. You know what I'm saying? My beta status. Shout out to my brother Post Up. I had to hit him with that with the $5. Gamer O'Malley, keep my name out your mouth. Hey, my man, Gamer O'Malley do not like you, Post, man. Y'all been beefing for years. I don't know why. But back to the topic. Either this is why I don't like the whole talk about sales when it comes to Xbox, right? Because for one, Microsoft is not going to quantify the sales. They used to talk about user engagements until the user engagements went away, and then they said user engagements didn't matter. Now it's unique accounts, right? And here's the thing: nobody can quantify what the fuck that is, what it means. How does that turn into tangible money or any kind of metric that Nintendo, PC, and Sony can use? How do you compare something that Microsoft made up to something that industry standard people are doing? This is why I'm glad that Sony, Nintendo, and PC, Epic, and Steam. I'm glad that they are continuously sticking by that standard. They have a
Well,
standard that the industry's been using since the beginning of time to quantify how well something is doing. Microsoft is the only ones that keep changing that standard. So you don't. It's kind of hard to say is that good or is that not good.
let me answer that.
Go
Being
ahead,
that
bro.
Microsoft is a colossal company as far as terms of having capital
Mm-hmm.
and making revenue and profit, right? They can do that. Forza Horizon 4 is not a free game. You either have to purchase the game or subscribe to Game Pass in order to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So that user engagement is saying, hey, the people that either subscribe to Game Pass
Mm-hmm.
or and the people that purchase this game, they're actively engaging and playing this game. This is what's driving customers to our service. So you can't just disregard the fact that they're playing the game because they didn't buy it outright. They're purchasing Game Pass to play Forza Horizon 5. It's proven in the numbers.
So
Well, Forza Horizon 4, I'm sorry.
can I ask this? I remember that a lot of gamers said PC. A lot of Xbox gamers, PC is Xbox and Xbox is PC. So there's, let's say, 200 million PCs, 200 billion PCs out in the wild. Just the mere fact that you own a PC, that means that you're an Xbox gamer. Just
True.
because you own it, you might not ever boot it up or play the game in your life. on the PC, but because you own a Windows product and it has the Xbox app built in, that makes your Xbox game. So again, it goes back. How can we quantify until we see some tangible numbers? We just don't know, and nobody will be able to force Microsoft to put that out there unless you look at the Apple versus the Epic Games lawsuit that happened, and we finally came to find out that last generation Microsoft only sold 48.2 million consoles, and they have never made a single penny on any console ever in their 21-year history. This is from the courts. This is not made up. This is not fake news. So now that we know that information, is it okay to say that if we that we really don't know? Because Microsoft, we just assumed that they were sitting at 50, 60, 70. We had people saying that they sold 80 million, right? They were at 80 million consoles. But now that we know that that is not the case, we can't sit here and say that, hey, Forza Horizon has so many people playing it. We don't know.
Well, I mean, 48 million is just console sales, but they've came out and said 20. They officially came out and said 24 million unique players are playing Forza Horizon. Have played Forza Horizon 4. Simultaneously, probably not, but just lifetime players, right?
Yeah.
But it's the norm for when they make a new platform, they normally subsidize the cost. They sell it at a loss. They make their money off the software and services.
You're absolutely right. But here's the difference, right? Nintendo and Sony are making profits on their systems. The PS5 has only been out for 8 to 9 months, and it is already making profits. So how do we have a 9-year generation, whereas, no, fuck it, let's say it, Microsoft has a 21-year multiple generations, and they've never made a profit? Do you think that Microsoft is going to continue to make this hardware when they don't make any money on it, and plus the install base is shrinking?
Let's put things into context, right? Nintendo is selling you about 5 to 6 year old technology in their console, so it doesn't cost them as much.
Absolutely.
Develop a console. They, as far as I know, they never discount the cost of their console or their games.
Absolutely.
You got to put context into why they make money off their console. PlayStation is in a rare circumstances where they just sell so many consoles. I mean, PlayStation is that popular.
Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think that PlayStation is able to sell so many consoles where Microsoft can't?
Yeah.
It's
who was that?
It's the marketing, bro. It's
marketing?
Obviously they market to a crowd that likes the products they put out.
Okay, you don't think games have anything to do with it? You don't think games have anything to do with it?
I said the product that they put out, they found a market to market to, and they purchased the product. We can't deny that that their consumers, they buy games. They play them.
Now, how about this? You can't deny that. Well, could you be honest and say that the lack of the quality of games that Microsoft released in the Xbox One, as far as exclusive wise, it fails comparison what they did with the 360? What even with the original Xbox?
Come on, for first party?
Whatever. I'm just something. I ain't doing with semantics. I'm not first party, third party. I ain't doing this with there. Third party.
I think they started off strong with the Xbox One.
They did.
They did.
The Metacritic scores don't reflect it, but they had some really hidden gems.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Well, they had more than the competition at the time. Definitely.
Yeah, and then like 2015, it just fell apart. 16 was 16.
Once they dropped Uncharted, that was it. Actually, I'll be honest. Bloodborne, once they dropped their first 90 Metacritic game, Bloodborne,
that came out 14. Wasn't it? That came out 14.
Bloodborne, I thought
Bloodborne came out 14.
14. Okay. Once Uncharted, right? Once they dropped Uncharted, it was game over. That was it. That was the beginning.
I know they had Rise of the Tomb Raider. They had Quantum Break 2015, Rise of the Tomb Raider 2015, and I think Gears 4.
It was 2016. Last game was Quantum Break.
Quantum Break was 20. Okay.
Yeah.
2016. Last game.
Yeah.
After that, it was
Sony spent those first 2 years, you're right, because they didn't have the software ready. They spent those first 2 years trying to get the software. But once they dropped Uncharted, they kept following that up with new IP, and it was kind of like a wrap. Shout out to my brother Tay248 with the $10. Salute, fellas. I appreciate you, man. You know, we got the broadband bully in the house. You know what I'm saying? Doing it big. But Noah, back to Z's point. All throughout history, games have sold the hardware. Without the games, the hardware won't sell. And so that mantra is not going to change this generation or next generation or any other generation in the future. If you don't have the games, people won't buy your hardware.
I agree to that. I agree to that. But looking at what Microsoft has shown, like the roadmap, I'm very confident that they've learned a lesson from last generation, and we're going to see a much stronger lineup.
You think so?
That E3 was pretty. It's better than I expected. It was better than I expected.
Hey, wait.
We
I don't
got
mean to
the
cut you off, nigga, but you said they learned from their mistakes. Well. I mean, they learn how the hell you release with 0 goddamn games if they learn from their mistakes, sir?
COVID. COVID is why.
Oh,
COVID-19.
You nigga blame it on the chess code. Goddamn. Did Joe not? Listen, did Joe not competition? Did they not have a chess code also, sir? Everybody had it.
Yeah.
And before COVID hit, nigga, I'm just saying, you know.
So
they knew in 2015 this new console was coming out in 2020.
Just to make a comparison, for 1 second, Brian Carter with the $5. Microsoft always start a new category so they can lead it until they add PlayStation and Nintendo, and then they become in third place again. He said they always start with a new category. Here's the thing. In when you take what Xbox started with this generation, which according to Z, 0, right? They started with 0. And then you had Sony started with 7 games at launch. 7 brand new games at launch. That's 7 versus 0. That's a big head start. And it seems like Microsoft is still trying to play catch up because they followed up those 7 launch games with a game every single month this year, on top of launching 3 games in June. Ratchet & Clank, Ghost of Tsushima, and Gear to Gear Strive all launched in the same day. So that's consistent output of games. We haven't really seen that on the Microsoft front. We got the Ascent. That's good, right? I think it's a good game. It got low Metacritic, but I think it's a decent game. But that's not a console seller. Microsoft has yet to give you a console seller. I think Halo Infinite may be it. But then again, Master Chief is on the box. Halo is on the box of the console that they're selling you now. So I think the people who wanted Halo, they already have an Xbox because they bought it for Halo. They thought Halo was dropping. But that didn't happen. So where does that leave Microsoft now?
You know what frustrates me? Now that you mentioned that,
yeah,
is Microsoft they have an exclusive title. It scored really well, and it's really well received. Well, really well received, right? It's Death's Door.
What is called? That's a PC game. That was a PC game that was ported to Xbox, correct?
Yeah, but it's not on PlayStation.
But I'm surprised. It's coming to PlayStation, right?
It might. But for the time being, right?
Yeah.
For the time being, you can only play it on. As far as console wise, you can only play it on Xbox. You would think Microsoft would do a better job of marketing the fact that, hey, this game scored high.
What game was this?
Death's Door.
Oh my God.
Z, that was a PC game that they ported to Xbox.
That was a PC game.
Can you buy it in the stores?
No, it's download only.
I think it's digital only.
Yeah, it's from a small. Again, it's on the level of Cuphead, right? Which are great games, highly Metacritic, but again, the shit's coming and everything. Shout out to Nelson Gaming, appreciate it with the $5. Sony was coming straight off head-to-head Goaties in 2020 as well. Yeah, absolutely. They had like 4 or 5 Game of the Year winners and contenders last year. They started off this year with more Goaties, right? Right now they got about 4 Game of the Year games that's going to be in contention of winning Game of the Year. Where is Microsoft in that? Halo is going to miss the benchmark. I think Forza may make it. It may not. When people think of gaming, man, The big headlines, people want the big blockbuster stuff. That's what gets attention. This holiday season, people are going to be talking about Metroid. They're going to be talking about all the PlayStation games that done launched earlier part of this year, all throughout this year. Where is Xbox in that contention? Where are they in the conversation?
So they're not gonna be talking about Psychonauts 2, Halo, Forza, and some degree Deathloop.
So here's the thing, right? And I wish and I pray, because I mean, it'll be good for my Twitter career. I hope uh I hope that game win game of the year. I hope Deathloop
What
wins
game?
game
Halo?
of the year. No, Deathloop. Because that is a Microsoft owned IP that's only on the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a extremely high Metacritic game that Microsoft basically they owned. And it's only on PlayStation platform. I don't know if a year, 2 years down the line it'll come, but it's not now. That would be extremely embarrassing, right? For a game that Microsoft made that's only on PlayStation to win Game of the Year. Because that tells me if I'm an Xbox console owner, I have nothing to be proud of to say, hey, we won this or we won that. Besides a bunch of ports that's already on other platforms or eventually is coming to other platforms, like you brought up Death's Door. Do you think that's going to change? Do you think that matters in the gamer's eyes? I think you do, but what about you, Noah?
As long as they lock down third party deals, I would honestly rather them be completely exclusive. But I mean, if it's timed, it's fine. If they come in day one to Game Pass and they're scoring high, it still gives you a incentive to buy the Xbox. If you want to play it here day one on Game Pass, then yeah, this is the console to get.
Yeah.
So I mean,
shout out.
I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah, shout out to Morpheus. He said Jaydub low key kind of thick. Oh man.
What?
Oh
What?
man. Pause.
What?
I hope that's
What?
a chick. I hope that's a chick.
And he got a peach.
Hey, hold on. Hey, J-Dub.
Oh
Wait,
man.
hey, hold on.
Clip
That wasn't
that.
even
Clip
you just
that.
read that? Oh my God.
Oh,
Wait,
man.
you just read that? Oh my God.
Hey,
Morpheus.
Yeah,
No,
hey,
that ain't the question.
I
Nigga
thought that
just
was
read it voluntarily.
Oh man, I thought that was hopefully that was a
wasn't
chick.
no bill, nigga. He
Oh,
read
man.
that voluntarily.
Oh man. Hey, brown sugar candy, say your brother. Say your brother. Come on.
Pretty brown eyes.
Oh, man. Hey, what Morgan Counts when you need her?
Hey, bless you.
It's a surprise. Listen, all the comments in the world.
Man.
That's the way
man.
he used to read.
Star me out, man.
Oh my God.
Star me out, man. Paul.
Oh my God.
Pause. Oh man.
Hey, look what he typed this time.
Oh man. Hey, no. We got to go to the next topic. Come on. We got to go to another topic. Come on. Okay. So the next question. Racism in the Xbox community. Let's. We had a Twitter Spaces that happened. I think last week before. And shout out to those guys who did that. But it was a big thing. I think it was a big opportunity for gamers to come together and talk about how racism doesn't deserve to be in the gaming space and stuff like that. But instead, it turned to you guys have racists on your side too, not just us type of thing, a blame thing. Now, we do know that Microsoft themselves in the past had to distance themselves for a ton of racist Xbox guys, such as the Malgrau, whatever, the Brazilian guys that got sued in court and stuff like that. We have, the E-Rocks of the gaming community and some of the other people that I don't want to give a platform to. And I know it's easier for people to say, hey, there's races on many sides. We don't want to focus on the many sides. We're talking about the people that we see on a day-to-day basis on Twitter that post these things, whether it's the pictures that's posted or whether it's just them flat out saying a lot of stuff. Do you think the Xbox community needs to speak up more and shun those that do it, or do you think they should continue to just keep their head down, ignore it, and act like it doesn't exist?
Yeah, so the platform that you play games on doesn't determine if you're a racist or not. If you races are racist, but we gotta as a gaming community attack that shit and individually.
Yeah, I think. Well, not a thing, but you know, what, I'm not even gonna put it on the Xbox because that shit. You got weirdos hating on both sides, man.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you know, that shit. That's you know, what I mean, now you have stupidity and goddamn E-Rock. I think that how we call them a shock jock pause.
Yeah,
I think just you know, what I mean, just you know, that motherfucker just try to throw shit at the wall and you know, what I mean,
yeah,
call something to be edgy or whatever. You know, what I mean, I don't know dude personally. You know, what I mean, but that's just he just put a response to that. You know, what I mean, that was me. I'm an adult. But no, you do like I said, you did have the stuff, and I knew these brothers. That once well, I thought I knew them. I didn't know when they had Moot saying the hard with the N word with the hard ER.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't in the wild. I didn't know anything about that. I mean, it
Sure.
went back.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that I like I said again, that's just in the community. Period.
yeah,
Right.
You know, what I mean, shit, I ain't gonna lie. Some of the Nintendo jokes, you ever see some of that shit they be getting down with? They talking about them characters. What
oh
game? What
Yeah.
they got that goddamn game that came out? Animal
with that,
Planet.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man, shit me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That shit was, you know what I mean? I think no, this is my issue, right? Because yes, when it comes to stuff like that, I get mad because I see feel that way with Sony. I
yeah,
think they should come out and say something and address it. I mean, we can say what we want. I mean, when things happen like that and to that level, this real talk. Outside of the jokes and you know what I mean, in the
yeah,
council, you know what I mean, the humor. When things happen to that degree, I think, no, I think I know the company should come out and address stuff like that. The things will not be. I mean, we don't condone it. Shouldn't be tolerated. I
yeah,
mean, because
yeah,
some of this shit was getting wild. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie because I supposed to say way about Sony. You know, they don't.
mm-hmm.
I've actually, maybe once or twice. You know what I mean? Of course, you had the emails that came out, and you had the
Yeah, the leaks and all that
controversy with
stuff. Yeah,
the ads with the white woman choking the black lady out, but a bunch of shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But when things like that happen, I think outside of the community, I think the company, whatever platform it is, should come out and say, "Hey, we don't condone this, that, and the other." You know what I mean?
yeah. One thing I'll say is I don't think the corporations, right? These because you got to realize these corporations, they really don't want to tackle that problem because they look at it like, look, we don't care who you are, your political affiliation. We just want your dollars. And yes, some of our customers are racist, and we're not gonna not take a racist dollar. It's that's just corporation 101, right? They're gonna take their PR and they're gonna spend it. And shout out to Phil and them. They have in the past. They have addressed a lot of the racism, a lot of bigotry and stuff like that. They have tried. It's just us locally in this gaming community, we've seen it recently, and we know who they are. We know what they do it. Whether it's for shock value, it could be. Whether it's for some other nefarious purpose, we don't know. But we tend to see a lot of things more on one side. Not saying that it's not, because it's like Z just said, hey, it's on the PlayStation side, it's on Nintendo side, it's on Xbox side. But my thing is, when you see it out there and you turn a blind eye and act like those people don't exist, when they do, it just seems like a lot of the guys on the Xbox community, they see it more often. They see it either on a daily basis or a very often occurrence, and they just stay quiet instead of addressing it, saying, "Hey, look, unsub to this asshole, this moron or whatever." Do y'all? I mean, you guys remember Megiazo, right? He got shunned and threw out of PlayStation community for threatening the CEOs, Sony, and them blowing up their studios and their stuff because games were going to PC. So PlayStation guys are very vocal about a lot of this stuff, but you don't see a lot of that on the Xbox side of things, and so I think there's just a cry there. Hey guys, call it out. Just call it out when you see it. You got a lot of these morons that are out here doing it for shock value. Block them, call them out, say good riddance, and then move on. And I think the gaming community can do that, and we should do that, regardless if you're on PlayStation, Nintendo, or whatever. But you kind of have to be vocal about it. You can't put your head down and act like it doesn't exist, because it does. And if you stick your head down and act like it don't exist, then you are implicit with that going forward. And I don't think we need to have a 5-hour Twitter Spaces to give a platform to a bunch of morons. But that's
I
just
look
me.
like this real talk. That's like what's my man name? T Reaper, right?
Yeah, T Reaper. Remember? Yeah,
Some things, not for nothing, but he ain't all the way right there. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
I wasn't about to just leave it. You know what I mean? He what it means, Iago. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think sometimes with situations like that, when you do give them that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Certain, I'm not saying sometimes you just ignore them up and keep pushing. They do it for that and looking to get a rise. You know what I mean, or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean. You give them that. You know what I mean. Whatever 2 5 minutes. Or you know what I mean. They don't give a
Yeah.
fuck whether you don't. You know what I mean. They really have nothing to lose in the game. You know what I mean. When it comes to stuff like that. You know what I mean. In my
Yeah.
opinion, but as far as if you know it individually, when it happened, yes, I
Yeah.
think no one should, regardless of what side of the coin on, address them. But a lot of times they don't. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Listen, how you say with what's old boy name? PewDiePie, right?
Yeah.
And I'm listen, I'm real time getting late money. I may be guilty. I've never watched any bro content, right? This happens a
Yeah.
lot.
Me neither. Yeah.
He had said something about some Jewish people, whatever he said, whatever, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
mean that. And honestly, honestly, I am a part of the gaming community, right? But I've honestly say I've never watched any of his stuff. Don't know most of it, but but when he does something, it's front line. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
huge or the biggest was the
He
biggest.
got he got
However,
he got millions of subs.
okay, so he had said something about the Jewish people, right?
Yeah.
So then it was all on the Kotakus or something like at the time.
Yeah.
I might did an article on it, and what happened was did a video on it, but what happened was right. A lot of times people actually they turn a blind eye because it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
Maybe their demographics. So it's not that big of a deal. Maybe just come out and say sorry. So once he did something again that he was playing, I think PUBG,
He was
it
playing
cost one
PUBG.
yeah,
It
with
cost him on the N
ER.
word. Yeah.
Yeah, so same thing. So now of course that affects me. So you know what I mean? And it's a history with it. So I'm out, I want to do my video with him. And I'm reading some of the comments. Oh, just come out and say sorry. You know why? Because then that comment that he said didn't affect them. So,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? So a lot of times people say, if it doesn't affect me, you know what I mean, it doesn't affect me, you know what I mean? So it's not that big of a deal. And it happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
not talking, you know what I mean? And I think, you know what I mean, that more few likely, you know what I mean, not that be the case, because whatever he said is not affecting you or your demographic. So you know what? It's not that big of a deal. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He
You
just come
can't.
out and say sorry, this, that, and the other,
Yeah.
I
And
think that's what happens a
I
lot.
agree with you. You can't. You can't just turn a blind eye and not care when it's about someone else, some other group. But when it hits your
Mhm.
group, then you cry
Yeah.
foul. It's like, come on, you gotta stamp it out all across the board. And it's unfortunate though. He has a big platform where when he says something, when he said the N word, right, he ended up with more subs, right,
Mhm.
gaining more subs than he did. Then when he's when he said
Mhm.
the Jewish slur and all kind of stuff, it did
Mhm.
he has a shaky pass.
What you talking about?
PewDiePie.
Was
Uh,
he pretty about?
Yeah.
No, was that
But
what that thing they had? That thing wasn't Norwegian or no one or what's
He's
that
he's
guy?
he's no he's Norwegian. He's
No, 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 no,
Swedish.
no. What's
Yeah.
that thing? What country was that, bro? Was it start with an N, I think? And they had the mass shooting at the mosque. What country was that? It was one of those European countries. What's that?
yeah, I
Goddamn
know you're talking
Norwegian
about.
or goddamn the Netherlands, something
Yeah.
like that. They had a big shooting out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the mosque. But it was like maybe like in 2016 or 15.
Yeah.
And I think he said something controversial, or maybe had some time, or maybe to that group, whatever the fuck the case may be. He came out with more than he had before when that happened. I'm like, this shit is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What the fuck name of that goddamn country? God damn it!
Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to make it, because I see some people in the chat saying, well, you guys have some races too, and you shouldn't call out the Xbox community just because of one person. It's like I get that, right? I get that. Nobody's saying that all Xbox guys are racist. We're just saying when it happens, call it out, regardless. And here's the thing: if you're on the defensive right about now, it's because you have seen it and you have decided to ignore it, and then and going to point the fingers at somebody else. Now, here's the thing about it: this conversation started because this morning Morgan Kimes was basically. Yeah, they basically attacked her and was using some racial being racist and stuff about her. Yeah, and
Xbox guys?
the Xbox guys, yeah,
Man.
guys, yeah. And so if I had to go out there and kind of speak on that, and I'm like, man, listen, this shit don't make no sense. I get it. This is your preferred platform or whatever, but that shouldn't cause you to be racist, and especially talking crap about a female like that. You know what I'm saying? A female gamer. Like, come on. It's for one, they don't get a big platform as it is, right? They don't get their fair share of attention and notoriety in gaming as it is. But now you're gonna shit on them because your platform is not number one, or because you feel in some type of way. Take that frustration out. Go to Phil Spencer. Tell him what you're looking for, what you want, and hold him accountable until you get it. Just doesn't make any sense. That
I,
conversation did not fit into gaming at all, but it happened.
Jada, me, me and you both, we from the South, right? Then
Absolutely,
and black
absolutely,
from the South. We see races quite a bit.
absolutely,
Racism quite a bit, right? I mean,
absolutely.
it's a problem that goes beyond gaming.
Hmm.
It's sad that it's infested gaming, but it's beyond the platforms. Like if you see it, just call it out. PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, PC, whatever, bro. Call that
Yeah,
shit out, man.
yeah.
Let's let's make these racist people feel horrible for being racist,
They
and
need to
don't
be
give them the time of the day.
uncomfortable.
Block
They
them.
need
Yeah,
to be
make them
uncomfortable
very
when they
uncomfortable.
do that. Yeah,
I I feel like sometimes and I say we. I feel like the community, not a specific community, just the community in general. Like sometimes they give them a pat on the back for saying racist shit.
but they get
Not,
attention,
but
and that's what
yeah,
they
they get it,
seeking.
and
Anytime
that's
you,
what we don't want to give them.
as gamers, and you say something, do some racist or something like that, you're looking at attention. You're seeking attention. um, I remember, right, when we all give kudos to Microsoft for ushering in online gaming, because they were a huge part in giving us ways to communicate and talk over using the Xbox Live, right? As soon as that service was started, to no blame of Microsoft, but as soon as Xbox Live started, the first words were uttered was the N word, right? Every Call of Duty game you got, every Halo game you got, that's
Yeah,
synonymous, and it's a running joke in the industry where if you're a gamer and you know those old days of Xbox Live, you know that's what you were going to hear. Even
let
now
me
with Fortnite, even now with other games, right? You're going to hear that very, you know what I'm saying? You're going to hear that.
let me address Lynn real quick in the chat. He said I'm damage controlling. Hey yo, Lynn, Xbox could shut down today, but racism will still exist tomorrow. Xbox community, not the problem, but it's racism. You gotta when it comes to racism, you gotta address that shit individually. You can't generalize a group, especially in gaming. That's
Yeah.
dumb. You
Well,
gotta you gotta address that individually.
absolutely, and that's why I'm asking for the community, Xbox community themselves, right? When they see it, call it out collectively. Don't turn a blind eye to it. Shun these people. Block them, report them, and do everything you can, because you don't want the Xbox community to be known as the racist community or the people that always saying all this goofy shit that makes, because let's face it, a lot of these guys that says this shit, they're frustrated because they're frustrated with their platform. They want their platform to be number one. They want their platform to be the best, right? Instead of them just gaming on everything like they claim, instead of them just enjoying their games as they claim they are, they want to lash out, and a lot of times they lash out to other people and other groups and cultures and everything else. That's what it is, right? From a psychological standpoint, that's what it is. And a lot of them are mentally unstable. A lot of them have issues. We know that. We've seen a lot of these guys. We've seen these guys tape up PlayStations and Xboxes and saran wrap and pee on them and do all kind of stuff, right? It's a sickness. It's a mental sickness. And we do have that in the gaming community. The gaming community is open. It invites many people from all walks of life, and it gives you a platform. It gives you people to have camaraderie with and stuff like. And sometimes people go overboard with some of this stuff. Listen, I enjoy the console war more than anybody, right? Y'all know that. Y'all see me on Twitter every day, all day. Y'all know me. Y'all know what I do. But at the same time, if we're gonna venture into this space and keep this space something that's funny and fun, we have to wipe it out of the people that shouldn't be here. And those people that do racist stuff and just irresponsible, reckless stuff, we need to call them out. We need to shun them and get them out of the community, because they're not good for any side. They're not helping Phil Spencer. They're not helping Aaron Greenberg. They're not helping Xbox or Game Pass or PlayStation or Jim Ryan or Nintendo. These guys are not helping those platforms. Gaming
Mm.
has a hard enough time, right, than to deal with shit like this. We're in COVID season where there's a shortage in manufacturing of all these consoles and silicons or the chips and stuff like that. COVID has caused where people can't get their hands on consoles. Game developers are being affected by this. So this directly affects our hobby. we don't want to have to deal with shit like this, right? Say, well, not only do it's hard to get your games out. All these great games that we're looking forward to are getting delayed because of COVID. Now we got to deal with Joe Blow that's being an asshole out there, making gaming uncomfortable for women or just normal people that are not in the no space. You see what I'm saying? We need to call
Yeah,
it out.
true. And I'm just add this, man. Like the last thing I'm concerned about, if I see some racist shit,
Yeah,
last thing I'm concerned about is what gaming platform they playing on.
yeah,
Nah, nigga, you a racist. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
address that shit, bro. You getting blocked. You need to apologize and block yourself. Like
Facts.
man, that shit is not
That
acceptable, bro.
shit corny as hell, man. I ain't even gonna hold
Yeah,
that shit corny.
it is. It
That shit
is.
straight corny.
And again, that's why we shouldn't give a platform to those particular people. This is why we just shun them, not listen to
Yeah.
them, not tweet them, not like them, not follow them anymore. Just shun them out and get them out of there and make
Yeah,
this a
yeah.
space uncomfortable for racists.
Make the
Here's the
community
problem: this community is too comfortable with a lot of shady shit that goes on.
make the
Yeah.
community aware of who the racist is. Don't give them no one-on-one interview or nothing like that.
Absolutely,
Like that person doesn't deserve that type of attention, man. Just make the community aware of what type of
absolutely.
person this is, and
Well, I'm glad we
everybody.
talked about that topic. I want to ask you guys this question, and you can pick whatever order you want to go with. But where do you see the future of Xbox within the next 5 years? And maybe we'll start with you, Noah, or Z. One of y'all can go. But what do you see? What's the future of Xbox? Where do you see Xbox in the next
Start it
five
off.
years?
I'm seeing a lot of potential right now. I see them making some huge strides as of lately. They're not perfect. They still got opportunities.
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
but I can see them contending with Sony
When we
if
were
if
tiny,
what they've shown us this
we were
year
boys.
at E3 and just looking at the roadmap, if they continue to carry forth with that momentum, then
Mm.
yeah, they're gonna be a juggernaut again.
What
We'll have
was
some
this?
real
No, is that
console
moment we
battles.
just seen on Tokyo Game still? Was that then? Momentum versus brother? You talking about E3? You said continue with the momentum because you said to you E3 was great, and then they just had the Tokyo Game Show. Like you say, the goddamn, how did that goddamn show? They said that motherfucking the Halo will have Japanese goddamn voice actors. Remember that? And dropped the goddamn
The mic.
Mike walked off
Oh
stage. That was
man.
the height of the career.
Oh man.
But after the Tokyo Game Show, that they've were number
What?
one on Amazon selling Xbox
And,
Series
and,
X,
and Tokyo?
and then dropped the Halo beta, and a ton of people went out and bought Xbox just to play Halo. I think Microsoft is seeing
Lord.
they're seeing the result of great games releasing for the console, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people have a reason to buy Xbox within the past few months, and they're pretty much all sold out.
Well, I'll tell you this. It was an article that came out today that all the publications have been talking about, and that is because of Game Pass, a lot of the Japanese retailers are pulling Xbox from their shelves because they don't want to give it any space because they can't get the physical sales and stuff like that of the game. So therefore, they are no longer selling Xboxes in Japan. Do you think that that's a problem?
That article was improperly translated. Next, but now look, that article only it was only one retailer, and I can't read Japanese. I don't even know what it said. Honestly, I
Well,
just know.
well, we're going by the big publications, right? The N4Gs, the Kotakus, the
Wait,
IGNs, the
is that
GameStop.
shocking though? I mean, it's not even like, come on, you don't got no goddamn games. Like, so is that shocking? You're already not popular there, and you got less goddamn games, so that's not really. I
If
don't see
if
where the
if
big woo.
so
You have
retailers
to.
retailers give space, right? They got space on the shelves for the consoles, the physical games, the accessories, and everything else. But if you're marketing this Game Pass where you don't have to go into the store and buy any games anymore, right? Then the retailers don't make money. The retailers can't make money off of Game Pass at all. They don't make any
Mm.
money selling Game Pass. That goes straight to Microsoft. So if they can't, sell you physical games, because here's the thing: if you got something physical, then that forces people to go into your store. When they're in the store, then they can try to get you to buy you accessories, buy their warranties, buy all kind of other stuff that makes it a value for them having the boxes on the shelf. So if you're selling Game Pass, then they're like, well, if they're just selling this Game Pass stuff, then why am I going to give shelf space to them when I can't sell them really any games? I can't sell anything else, so why have them there? And that's what happened. They're basically kicking them out of, And think about it. Xbox is a very less than 1% in Japan anyway, or even in all the Asian territories. So if they're already kicking you out of the stores, then how are you going to be in that market?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking at the article now. It says
Oh man, no, god
that
damn it, no.
once
Have you not
they
learned
change
nothing?
It's multiple.
once
It's multiple articles. Yeah.
No, have you
well
not
so
learned
what
nothing? Learned nothing these years? I mean, and my God, listen, listen. This ain't hard here. Hey, listen, you ain't got no goddamn games. Listen, you're not how you say receive well over here. I mean, shit, man, goddamn, no. Just
is
like,
what it
come on,
is.
goddamn. You said
It
yourself
is
with the
what it
okie
is.
dokie. Yeah, goddamn. Yeah, listen, what's that? What's the goddamn question? Ask me the goddamn. You nigga didn't put me to sleep here. Goddamn.
Oh
Spilled my yak
man.
in there, goddamn thing. What's the guy? What's the question there?
Oh man. Oh man. What do you see the future of Xbox within the next 5 years?
The future.
Yeah,
Oh my God! Tomorrow will bring a better you, a better the future. Goddamn. The future.
Third party? Will they be a third party publisher?
How you say? I think the future with same-sex bathrooms, nigga, and dog shit games across the goddamn board. How about that, right?
Oh
Don't let
man.
it go over your goddamn head. Look,
Oh
yeah,
man.
buddy, yeah. Just
Oh
the
man.
future. The nigga said, what?
Jesus.
Nigga, what future you talking about? The rapper?
Jesus.
But listen, man, this shit. Hell, bro, listen. Until they get the competitive goddamn edge, you know what I mean, and want to compete, you know what I mean, and, and they just. I said this years ago, and I said Microsoft. It's sad to say, right? It's not about. I think it's not about. How should I say? It's not about. I mean, about who sells the most. This one, no. It's just about competitive, right?
Yeah.
Until they get that back, when Microsoft, I said years ago, they don't care about winning. They just want their name, win a trophy. At the end of the goddamn fight, they hand whoever the winner is. I mean, until they get back wanting to compete, you know what I mean? Sad to say, will they exist? I mean, if as long as they're making money, yeah, you know what I mean? They're making money, and sad to say, and look, this is the problem, right? That they are making whatever money and not giving us anything. I mean, I told motherfuckers before, you out there praising Mike. Oh, they turned this up. They made this quarter and not giving us anything. I remember all the niggas out there running. Oh, look, Microsoft turned this quarter, and Sony may have spent this. Sony outspent them, but if you look at it, you know what I mean, dollar for dollar, coin to coin, they actually made more money. But what does that have to do? All that and not giving us anything. That's when you're in a sad state of affairs, man. Hopefully in 5 years, things will be better. They're releasing AAA games. You know what I mean? Oh, listen, play this. I know I know games are coming, right? They got these goddamn companies, right?
Yeah.
Cool. You know what I mean? But it's in the meantime, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as changing their image.
And what you just said, in the meantime, the present, right? We can hope that we have world peace in the future. But in the meantime, shit is fucked up. So until you understand the position that Microsoft's in right now, as how it affects you as a gamer, we saw Microsoft's E3, we saw their games come. Xbox guys loved it, right? They'll tell you they love it. It was the greatest thing ever. But then you see Sony come out with their PlayStation event, and they blew the internet up, and people even to this day are still talking about it, right? You get Wolverine, you got KOTOR, Star Wars, you got Spider-Man 2, you got, all this other stuff. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that's big stuff. That's stuff that keeps people talking, not just a blip on the radar trending for 2 hours. We're talking about stuff that people are physically going out looking, trying their best to buy a PlayStation 5 because they want to play KOTOR. They want to play the Spider-Man 2 with Venom, right? They want to play all these other games that they have, right? The Wolverine, right? All of listen, in the future, all the Marvel characters are coming to PlayStation. It's going to be exclusive on PlayStation. That's what gamers are seeing. Microsoft needs to have that moment where people are feeling like that now, and you're not going to get that from Halo, Gears, and Forza. I hate to say it. People are going to say Starfield. We don't know what the hell Starfield is. We don't know how it's going to be received, right? We just don't know. So I feel like a lot of Xbox guys are hedging on the future. In the future, they think it's going to be something great. But in the meantime, it's doing some damage because most people eyes are on PlayStation. They're looking at the games that are releasing now.
Mm.
Like I said, the Game Awards are coming up. This what November, December? We got the Game Awards, Video Game Awards. Who's going to show up? Who's going to be?
Sad to
Who's going to
say,
win these
I'm
awards? Right?
probably sad to say, Sony doesn't really have to do anything.
They don't have to do anything.
No,
But it's,
what that one
almost
show, that
like
one show they
default, right?
did.
It's almost like default. They you know.
You don't have to, and I'm not saying it's fair, but that one show that they did, right? Whether you like those games or not, I mean, well, they're coming. You know what I mean? You don't need a bunch of. This is the thing I keep telling people. Not about and Xbox guys, they trick themselves into this. Well, it's not. Listen, we all just being a fan. You know what I mean? You don't need 1,000 shows. You don't need a long show. You just need one good one.
Yeah.
It's simple and message, and you got motherfuckers still talking. You don't need a bunch of shows, a long hour show. No. He really want a good one. That's all.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
Sony's show was 40 minutes.
Yep.
Right? And I'll be honest, they could have cut that show down to 15 minutes and still blew the spot up.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you it's not really how long your show is. It's not about how many show you is. It's the content that's in your show.
Mm-hmm.
They said, they gave Sony shit for not showing up to E3. When you look at the last show that they had, does it look like they were missed at E3? No, they didn't. They got the same attention out of that show being 40 minutes than they would have at E3 without spending the millions and millions of dollars.
I think you guys are underestimating Fable.
Oh no, I'm not. But we haven't seen anything from it.
Listen, all of that stuff is coming. No, it's coming in the future, right? But we don't know. Like, until those games come out, we just don't know. Fable, listen, I hope Fable is a 99 Metacritic game. I really do. I plan to be on the day one. But we don't know how this shit's going to turn out. And Microsoft doesn't have a good track record in showing you, right, trust. One thing that Sony has gained, and that's trust with gamers. Trust that they know how to put out something. We don't know how Wolverine is going to turn out, right? But guess what? We know Insomniac has been putting out heat for the last 4-5 years. So we trust that game is going to turn out to be a banger. We trust Naughty Dog. We trust Guerrilla Games. We trust all these other we trust Sony because of their track record. Now, let's look back at the last 9 years of Microsoft. Do they have a track record that you will be proud of? Remove the Halo, Gears, and Forzas, right? What have they put out there that can really just, I mean, technically that's worth talking about. So you put the Halos and Gears and Forzas back, right? And then you're still stuck with Halo, Gears, and Forza.
We could talk about the past, right?
But okay, let's talk about the current.
This is why we buy.
This is the first year of gaming. This is the first year of gaming, right? They launched the console in November. They launched it in November. They launched with not one single game. The first game they dropped was the Falconeer, the Medium. And then the second game they dropped was the Falconeer. 260 Metacritic games. This is how they want to show off their next generation offerings. Sony put out Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon Souls, on, and we can keep going, right? Sackboy, all that stuff. But you see what I'm saying? It's a distinct difference. And I get it. Microsoft made all this money. They bought Bethesda and all of this stuff. But until these games come, until we see and they have a consistent track record of dropping games, it's really it's a wait and see approach that I want to take with Microsoft. Because I can't say if Bethesda's not going to, if Starfield is going to turn out to be a Fallout 76. We don't know. Fallout 76 was a low Metacritic. It got a 60 Metacritic when it first came out. It was trash. Sea of Thieves, trash. We don't know. I hope it comes out and it's a 90 Metacritic game, but we just don't know. And so you can't get credit for something that hasn't come out because look at your track record. It's been shady and crazy. And I know what posts are saying, oh, those are not first party games. Well, Microsoft only had Halo, Gears, and Forza. Everything else was somebody else's stuff. So that's all I have to go by. The future.
What we do have right now is anticipation, right? Like I said, they've showed they're working on Fable. They showed they're working on Redfall. That Bethesda's working on their slew of games, Elder Scrolls, Fallouts. Rumors to be a new Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
There's rumors
Noah,
that new Wolfenstein. They're working on a Wolfenstein game.
Noah.
Indiana Jones. There's a lot to be excited for. I get you with the track record,
Yeah,
right? And they had a piss poor lunch, right?
yeah.
But you can't deny that there is some level of anticipation for Microsoft's first party titles.
We thought. Listen, I remember when this generation started. People said, "Wait till we get the Ascent." Right? We got the Ascent, 64 Metacritic game. Whether you like it or not, which I like it, it still got a 64 Metacritic. It still wasn't up to the quality of where most gamers would like it to compete with Sony. It's unfortunate that Microsoft is in this space where their games are going to have to compete with Nintendo games and are going to have to compete with Sony games. Gamers are like that. We've been like that since the beginning of gaming. We compare these different platforms games, right? When you talk to Nintendo dudes, they're going to throw out Metroid. We got Metroid. We got Breath of the Wild. We got Zelda. We got this, right? They got games that they're proud of, right? That they consistent games, whether you like them or not, it's irrelevant. But they score high. The industry accept them. Gamers accept them. You look at Sony, right? You got Microsoft out here saying The Last of Us 2's. I mean, we never seen shit like that done before on console or PC. So, they're giving kudos to PlayStation for all of their games. Phil Spencer is out there, congratulations for Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, or Zero Dawn, and on in Spider-Man, right? It's consistent. All of these praises. Returnal, yada, yada, yada. But then when it comes to Xbox time to shine, Nintendo has never said anything about Xbox and whatever games they're releasing. Sony has never said anything yet because they don't really have anything like that, right? They
Right.
don't have
But
that type of stuff, and so they're in that space. And I get what you're saying. In the future, Fable could be that, right? Or the Gunk could be that. Some of these other games could be that. But shit, I mean, the world could turn
let's well
upside down
let's
tomorrow. We don't know.
let's talk about the here and now because this holiday season, only one console you're gonna be able to play Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite. And these are hugely anticipated titles.
Yeah, I'll be playing
And
on the
I'm and
PC.
and and I'm looking. That's fine. I mean, if you play it
Absolutely.
on the PC, that's fine. That's fine. We can
Absolutely.
still play together. Xbox, PlayStation. I
Absolutely.
mean, I'm sorry, Xbox, PC, play anywhere. But and I look on the PlayStation side, and what do they have for the holiday season?
Here's the thing, Noah. Here's my reply to that. When you've been getting games every month since last November, since launch, right? When you've been getting games every single month, good, highly rated games, or a ton of consistent games, right? Does it really matter when you got, does the holiday season matter when everybody's playing Call of Duty and Battlefield and stuff?
I
Nah.
don't know because we can play Call of Duty and Battlefield on Xbox,
Absolutely.
and we have
Absolutely.
to be honest. When we think about the PlayStation lineup as of lately, it's kind of been the rehash system. You got Ghost of Tsushima came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, yeah, they're charging you $70 for the same game you got last year with some DLC. They charge you again for Death Stranding. That came out 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They started off strong, but for the past few months, they haven't really had their stronger lineup. Kina's cool. I like Kina,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it hit the mark as a must buy title for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people. But hey, that's what Halo and Forza are going to feel this holiday season.
But Noah, here's the problem with that, right? Noah, a brand new IP from scratch, brand new IP. When was the last time we got a brand new IP from Microsoft? First party,
Brand new IP.
first party, second party, third party. Don't matter. Yeah, when was the last time
Ori,
we?
Recore, Quantum Break.
That was back in what,
Uh,
2016. This is
let's
finna
let
be
me
2022.
let me think. Let me think.
You thinking?
Uh, Matter of fact, we'll revisit that question. We'll revisit that question.
Okay, you want to
Oh,
revisit?
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
buddy.
revisit that
Okay,
one. Let's
okay,
revisit that one.
okay. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah,
this
buddy.
has been a great show.
Oh God damn.
I want to thank Big Damu. I want to thank Noah for coming and rock out with your boy, answering these questions. Let us know what's going on, the latest stuff in the gaming streets, what they feel about the state of Xbox, the future of Xbox, the future of PlayStation, how things are going to shake up. Thank y'all for come rocking out with me. You know what I'm saying? You know when Big Damu in the place, shit go left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Hey, Noah, nigga. I hope you don't mind your goddamn channel. Nigga, goddamn. So this nigga back to boot camp.
Nah, bro.
Goddamn.
J-Dub's invited me to the show.
Hey, what's that with Johnny Carson shit that you putting on, brother? Goddamn.
J-Dub's invited me to the show and said we was going to talk about
Not to put motherfuckers to sleep.
What was going on with Joe Biden and the vaccination.
Yeah, that's your name is
and
Sleepy
now
Joe.
I'm getting questions about PlayStation and Xbox. I thought we were talking politics. What's going on?
My man, I lost my fucking 4 subscribers on this dog shit, nigga. Sleepy goddamn Joe.
Oh, man.
Hey, we want that nigga on Twitter. Charge all this shit. Now they want to be in goddamn Bible study. Look at this shit here.
Oh, man. Stall him out. Listen.
He said for this interview, don't expect much.
Listen, Noah kind of been very active out there on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? He's been in all kind of Twitter spaces, getting thrown out on the curb.
In the bad headspaces.
Yeah, putting people in bad headspaces. I wanted to get his opinion on gaming and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And so the PlayStation community asked me to do it, so I decided to go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying?
They said, but Noah told you don't expect much.
He told me he gonna answer. He gonna get back to me on part 2 with the remainder of that last question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On that note, thank y'all for coming rocking out with me, man. I appreciate
good night.
Yeah, we finna get ready to be out of here, man. Hey, anyway, man. We're gonna be live tomorrow, Next Gen China. Y'all
we back on tomorrow. Yeah.
He
said exactly on Twitter. He be busy. Who the fuck is this guy right here?
Yeah,
doppelganger. Goddamn doppelganger.
Damn, man, he called him a doppelganger. Hey. Anyway, man, it's your boy Jaydub, man. We got Big Damu Next Gen 720 and my brother Mansa Musa himself, Noah. AKA the Doja King, the Doja guy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I would say thank you for having me, but fuck that. Fuck that.
You're the Sleep King. No, AKA the Sleep King.
Oh man. Anyway, man, thank y'all for rocking out with me, man. We up out of here.
Yeah, we gone. Yeah, damn it.
Peace.